All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today. This is Keys to My New Door. Today's Tuesday, April 2021. And so I just want to say welcome everybody and thank you guys for joining us and comment in the chat because I know last had technical difficulties.
Yes,
We had a lot of difficulties. So just want you guys to share that if you can hear us clearly, if you can see us clearly. We really have feedback. And so we work hard and diligently that you can comfortably listen and hone in on our conversation as we are. So
I'll be getting back and forth, getting up to check the chat, so don't mind me.
all right. So today we have a special guest and great individual. We have Mr. Harrisboard here with us today. And we just really want to have Mr. Boyd to come in and just, as we're talking about keys to our new door, but we want Mr. Boyd to talk about a little bit of his journey and what inspires you, what motivates you, any kind of positive words of encouragement you want to leave for the people watching today, because I feel like we have 3 viewers so far. But any kind of positive words of encouragement that you would want to share and give to people that are watching us today.
Great.
And Mr. Boyd, you know what? I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll move on into a conversation.
Well, I would like to say top of the morning, everyone. Hope well, and I feel honored and privileged to have an opportunity from an organization that used to help me through my process and me now to be on the other side as alumni and to be able to come back and give back from this organization in which I worked for most of all my life. I was in a journey, stay stuck there. I reached out to organizations and people for me and help me bring out what I'm in. So what I'm doing today is not for me, but it's for those who are watching, those who can identify with the struggle and the trials and the tribulations of the journey. So listen, open your ears, open your eyes, and give us a minute because we want to feed your soul as well as your heart and your mind.
Yeah, we got Aaron in the house. We've got Wanda. Yeah.
Yep, top of the morning.
Now, Mr. Boyd, I have to travel back because I have to go back and remind myself or refresh my memory of when I first met you. And I can say it's basically you were volunteering for us. And I saw you doing something that I dearly love, and that's you were DJing. And you were playing music on our Thanksgiving and our I think it was our Thanksgiving event or our Christmas event.
Yeah, I remember that place.
Yeah, we had fun
Yeah.
and fellowship and good, just great energy. And that was the first time that I met you, and I saw you in your element. I remember seeing you do your thing, and we all had a good time. And as we continued to build our relationship, I remember talking to you one day, and life happened.
Yeah.
Life happened.
Oosha.
Yeah, life happened.
Yeah.
And I remember, because I remember talking to you, and I felt honored that, sometimes when people can open up and express things to you, that's an honor because that's trust there.
Right.
And so I remember hearing, and here we are today. But since then, how has your changed throughout your life, and what's inspiring you as the narrative has changed a little bit in your a little in your life, but what's inspiring you now to persevere and to keep moving forward and to doing the things that you're doing right now with the light that shines from you? What's inspiring you?
Well, it was midst of my struggle where I began to connect with other people who saw great and I saw in myself. Also, other people that had been in that struggle, had been through those trials and tribulations, had wore those particular that I was wearing at that particular time. And what they did is they continued, no matter what, they would always never leave the struggle, no how intense it is. Stay in the midst of the struggle. And what I began to realize is in the midst of struggles is when I was being built, how to be able to handle the things that are coming down the road for me. Not only be able to handle those things, closer and closer to my freedom. You know, the closer you get to the end of a race, the harder it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting so close to free that I had to come and I had to reach for it and I had to ask for help. And what I did is I began to seek organizations like PRN and people with that organizations who was able to identify my struggle, felt my pain, and said, you know what, I'm glad I'm here for you. And they would say one word during the course of the day that would say, hey, that's the nugget I needed today just to make it through that day. So therefore, I had to make myself available to them. I can't eat at anybody's table, right? But I had to make myself available to the right tables. And also I need to let you know that a lot of positive things in the midst of my struggle. The only time I really see those things is when I begin to hit a bottom. Mm. Sometimes I'm at the bottom out of them. Mm. And then I was humble and I was able to listen to you. You know, I heard you, but I was able to listen at that bottom, learn to listen and listen to learn. Yes. And don't know what my bottoms was people like PRN and y'all and yourself and your employees that gave me hope shots. Saying, hey, it's not over yet. You still can do it. How bad do you really want it? So I had to come outside of my pity pot, and I had a desire to get greater. And in that process, it kind of to where I am now. You know, I read a book who the sun set free indeed. You know, but you want that. And what it was is that for a period of time, PRN wanted that more than I wanted myself, but they were my hope shot because they helped on to me and they carried me through that process. And once I began to see the light and the benefits of them carrying me, I began to walk on my own. It's like a kid with on a bicycle with wheels. Right. Huh? Right. You don't be on training wheels forever. Right. One day you take the training wheels off. He's not even aware that they're off. Mm-hmm. And he's riding that bicycle. Mm-hmm. So y'all are able to help me walk through that process. And for that, today, I'm grateful.
Darlene's in the house. Aaron says, I always hear Aaron share his story, his journey. It always ends in triumph. Where does that start? When did it start changing for you from a positive to a less than positive?
It's when a guy has a book called Looking Out, a New Set of Eyeglasses. It wasn't I was able to get with people who had been where I've been, but that's able to help bring me out, was willing and able to help bring me out of where I was. I was in the dark and I become complacent and comfortable with that way of life. And I thought that was it for me until I began to get connected with organizations like PRN and they begin to give me hope shots. And they begin to do their own increments, you know. If you're sleeping in a box or empty car, if you used last night, we don't look at you any differently with you today. How can we help you today? And you with the big hugs. If you know what, nobody told you I love you today, I love you, and you come with that hug, and you know what happens? It comes over me. Lets me know that I still have purpose in life. Yes. And that no matter what my struggle is, somebody still loves me. Yes. It's a lot to me because I lost all the love from any and everybody that I thought loved me. But guess what? It wasn't real love anyway. But the love that I get from you people and where I've been was genuine. Yes. And I began to want the some of what y'all have, man. Yeah.
You can't lead a horse. You lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Yeah. Our job, all of our job to make him thirsty.
That's right. That's
thirsty. That's what we do.
Hope shot. Happy. Yeah. All that hope shot. Yeah. I mean, Harris, how big have you been? I'm more than you've been. But I never gave up. And I got with people who up on me. Yes. And at one day at a time, I'll be revealed. I'm sane now, opposed to being insane. I gravitate to the better way of life. And what I do is I keep it real. I keep it real simple. I meditate and I pray for somebody. In some kind of fellowship, and ask for guidance, and have a problem with was authority because I thought I knew everything. But my thinking is me back to where I was. So I allow the powers to be to delegate somebody to help me think. And to the day, I still do that.
Yeah.
You know. So therefore, in this alone. And when I get where I think I got this, that's the fall.
Yeah.
When I think I don't need y'all anymore, you know what I mean? When I want you to get in the driver's seat and say I got this, that's when I need to say, hey, hold, wait a minute.
Right.
Hold what you got, buddy, because you never got this. And I know I always need somebody. Yeah. And that's what the fellowship is about. Being able to come to another person who can help with your struggle and say, you know what? I love you no matter. That unconditional love that y'all give, man. You know, so the strongest emotion in the world is what? Love. But y'all give it unconditionally, like some other Father I serve. Unconditional love. Yeah, no matter what, how I look, how I smell. You know what I mean? Where I've been. Hey, man, we don't want to hear that. We love you today. Get you some coffee. You know, make yourself at home. PRN has done wonders in my life. And it has made me so much an advocate of bringing the best out in me to ever, you know, to continue to want to stay in this process to do for others, you know. Because when y'all help bring me out, y'all empower me to help bring somebody else out.
Yes.
And for that, I'm grateful.
Yes. Ooh, that's good stuff.
That's powerful.
That is powerful.
You know, the boy yesterday, I was talking about this experience yesterday when I went down to the hotel, you know, where you were. And it just resonated. I got to do it. I have to do it because it's my spirit. But Mr. Boyd referenced Miss Shannon that he and I were out there in the parking lot together.
Nice.
And it was a moment that's where I met you, doing your thing. You got on your face, you was enjoying your music. But this song is going to do a little bit, Miss Shannon. I'm going to give this to you, Mr. Boyd, because it touched me yesterday. And I have to leave it with you. I don't feel no way. I've come too far from where I'm started from.
Nobody told me.
Nobody told me that this would be easy, and I don't believe he's brought me this far to leave me. And that was, Lord, give me chills because that was a song that connected on me yesterday.
Yes.
So you were, you know, you were sharing your experience, but you told me, you gave me 3 words. 3 words that you gave me yesterday that resonated in my spirit. And I just want people to hear these 3 words because these 3 words are just powerful. But Mr. Boyd, do you mind sharing what those 3 words were and what they mean to you?
Those 3 words were experience, strength, and hope. Experience came through my journey, through my struggles, through my trials and my tribulations. And what was good for me, my thinking was impaired because what I thought was good for me wasn't at all. But it became my way of life. That wrong thinking became my right thinking. It wasn't until I got connected with somebody else to help pull off all the layers of and wrong thinking and staying in the process one day at a time, my thinking began to get renewed. Okay, that's experience. So in my journey, my ups and downs and my hope shots became my experience, and that it lets me know that nothing is impossible. You know what I mean? And then my hope became when I began to get around people like y'all. And you know, if I can do it, you can do it. And you didn't have a problem in telling where you had been. And that's where I picked up some of that stuff that's called freedom. You know what? This journey ain't about me. This journey is for me to gain experience and to come out of it to go back and help somebody else who was 9 times out of 10, somebody gonna say, you just told my story. Or I experienced that. Or I was raped by a family member. I mean, but I was so ashamed to share it. But now that you shared yours, I can share mine. Now, freedom, huh? That was I was their hope shot for that day. What y'all was for me. But what we have to do and play for granted is that you got to effort in getting connected. See, things are called stronghold that's holding you back where you at, and it's telling you that's the way I'm not supposed to, I'm not supposed to struggle. I'm not, stop struggling and start living. Huh? What happens is the way survival and struggle become, and I become okay and complacent with that. You get up every day after struggle. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to be happy, joyous, and free.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So my experience, strength, and my hope come from getting connected. You get what I'm saying? What they call outreach. I begin to do outreach. Man, I need for you to help. Because you know what? When I wanted the money, I wanted to stand on the corner, oh, baby, money, a dog. Can I get a dollar from you? I ain't have a problem with that. So I use that same strength in my other avenues to say, hey, I need some help today. Sit down, ego and pride. And say, man, I'm about to die today. It's about to help me. Because if I'm changed, I'm going to die. But I can't do it alone. And I had to let y'all in to see all my downfalls, all my mess. But that's what I realized, that you were down there in the mess with me. And say, Harris, we're going to love you until you learn to love yourself. Yeah. And then that's when y'all begin to start the kingdom building. And that's when y'all begin to renew another mind. And I begin to take orders, Harris, you might empty the trash today. PRN, you might, And then I thought, wow, I felt like I was needed, but I also felt a part of, because I've been so alone for so many years because of shame and guilt of my addiction and my struggle. But I realized I wasn't indifferent, and I was human, and I became a productive member of society, and not only a productive member of society. I learned to love myself just as much as y'all love me. And then guess what? When I made that decision and practice those principles of loving myself, I started making different choices. I didn't do things that were contradictory. People who love themselves don't smoke crack, smoke dope, or you don't do something to hurt yourself. You don't commit an installment plan to yourself. Okay, I'm making better choices. I started doing things, and then I started benefits from those better choices.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
So you know what? That inspires me. That gave me hope. Now that I know where you are, Mr. Boyd, if you don't mind sharing, because this is keys to our new door, but you have given us a lot of tools and a lot of keys this morning to be able to open up those doors of hope and strength. Open up that door to your new place, new area. And do you mind sharing where you are with that? Or, it doesn't have to be as much detail, if you want to water it down a little bit, but sharing where you are. You're embarking on a new transition in your life, and what excites you about getting those keys to your.
Well, there's always a cliche I used to use. I said, no matter last night or the week before or the time before, the powers that be wakes me up. He has purpose for me. And I used to always hear y'all say, you know what, if I did it, you can do it. So therefore, bad, good, or indifferent, rainy days, snowy days, or whatever we have, I continue to stay in the best. And what I continue to do is stay connected. Y'all saw me why I did me. And then after a while, by staying connected, y'all start giving me avenues. Y'all get information. Harris, I think this would be good for you. They get affordable. They get ready to get a grant for affordable housing. Really, I ride it out for a year in spite of my struggles, in spite of my trials. Never stop showing up. And really, I was showing a part of, but it taught me to show up in my own situation, to be in what's going on with me. So by me continuing to stay connected, staying a part of, and getting new information every day, one day it happened. Boosha. Harris, you're a great candidate. Go stand in that line right there. I was at the Urban Ministries. Nowhere. Harris Boyd, go stand in that line. Can't call my name fully. Why? Because because I made myself available to y'all. I got to know me in the midst of my struggle. I was still coming there trying to do the right thing, doing the best I can. And that's what willingness come out of this thing that I'm in. So therefore, someone called my name and said, go stand in that line right there. And by standing in that line, I'm on that and I get a monthly income. And I have some mental disabilities. And not that I let them hold me hostage, but I acknowledge them. And I do take medication for them. So don't get it twisted if you have disability, because for so many years I used mind-altering substance. And now that I'm trying to in recovery, there's some irreversible damage that has been done. And I need to acknowledge where I'm at in that and get okay with taking medicine. A lot of people say, oh, you're going to help. You know, but I ain't dying with it. I'm living with it. You know what I mean? So therefore, start seeing your doctor. Get you a primary doctor. Start seeing your mental health counselor. Start being a part of organizations, because you can do nothing. Let somebody help carry you. That's the purpose of these organizations. They came to help bring us out. But what I will say today, because of my connection with the organization, such as PRN and other organizations, that I'll be putting the keys in my own door within 60 days. I have my own apartment. 61 years of age, I've had my own place. And now I'll be residing in my own place, something that I've worked for many, many years. And not that God did not hear my prayer. I just went. And through this process and the connection with the organization, such as I learned it ain't about getting it, but it's about keeping it. So therefore, you got to be at a certain life, to be ready to keep it. There's a lot of things that's got to be removed, to put your responsibility first. And I was just talking to another colleague here at PRN, and she was telling me the same thing. It ain't about getting it, it's about keeping it. And now I'm at that place. Now, I'm glad I lived to get there. But if it wasn't for the help of others, me allowing somebody to come in and say, hey, you ain't got to do this by yourself. I ain't. And we want to help you from where you are, not just from where I'm at, but learn to love me for right where I'm at. You get what I'm saying? Because the world shit me out and they put a title on me that I'm no good. I'm never going to be no good. I'm not good for nothing or nobody. But y'all said we're going to learn to love you from your experiences, from yours. You are able to identify and say, you one of us. We're going to love you right where you at until better. And then when I got better, I was able to take the training wheels off the bike and they would ride the bike. We get in the driver's seat of the car and drive today. And I'm able to get my own place through organization and people of hope.
Yes.
And I'm there now. And I'm okay with where I'm at. It ain't about you being okay with where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm okay with where I'm at. You know what I mean? And it's okay. Good, bad.
It is okay. Missionary, did you have anything you want to share? Did you want to come around and sit right here?
No, you're good.
Okay.
And I just say quickly, I thank y'all for being a part of my process. I need to say that and not getting up on me. So there are some part of some of my things that I needed was tied up in your own. And I didn't do that until I stayed in the process and I kept coming back. And by doing that, I got results.
Mm-hmm. That trust we could use today to help ourselves and help somebody else.
Wow.
That's the shit right there.
Wow.
We get to do.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. As we grow, as we get things which aren't important, it's about the things we have today.
That's right.
What that love did for us. Because I felt the same game here.
Yeah.
It's we just love here. I love. That's my thing. That's my big thing. Love.
Yeah.
Hugs and love. I jump on you.
Yeah, that's right. Don't care how you smell, how you look. Come here. That's right. Come here.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's about the love, man. We love you enough to help you on your journey to recovery.
Wow.
And that's I think that's where it starts. I think that's where recovery starts. Just acceptance of love and that acceptance that maybe this is my life.
Right.
You know?
Right. As Bill said, about a new set of glasses.
Yeah, absolutely.
And realizing that You didn't let up the window. You didn't shut the doors, the blinds. You said, welcome. And I love you. And that just started tearing down that wall.
Yeah.
You know, it really did. It started tearing down a wall and saying that, maybe I do have a chance at life today. I want what you got. I'm going to just keep coming back. Looking like I'm looking, smelling like I'm smelling. But that incentive and that love word to coming back. Yeah. And now I'm reaping the best from that.
And you're sharing that love. That's what is so good about recovery.
Freedom.
What? Yes.
Freedom.
Freedom from bondage.
Freedom from bondage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Body's bondage that came with the stigma of my mental health issues, substance use issues, and all my other issues.
Yeah.
Right? We can get a box, and we can stay there because we think that's all we can get. I thought that's all I deserved.
Wow.
Today I know something different. You know, you love me.
Right. And that's the beginning of a whole new journey in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be careful. When I say use the terminology that I don't eat the table, you have to be careful who you let speak into your life. Mm-hmm. I said that the world will tell you that you're not no good. You're not going in for, get your funeral papers ready and them goodbye because you ain't going to be living long. But in the midst of my journey, really I'm being built. And what I realized, Miss Sharon and my brothers, that I'm no longer doing this for me. I'm doing this for somebody else now. So I can be their hope shot. You know what I mean? And y'all
gets me out of me.
Me, huh? Does what? Me out of me. And this journey is not about me. It's about being prepared to help free somebody else. When I'm free drugs and alcohol and my way of thinking, I walk in a new way of living, a new way of thinking. As they say, by the renewing of the mind. But not only that, after a while, when I was going to the meetings and everything, after a while, I wasn't going for me anymore. I was going for that newcomer, that person who didn't have that hope shot. After a while, I was coming to PRN in the morning, and you would sit at that desk when I was facing the hallway. And the first thing you do is give me that hug. After a while, you wasn't doing that for you. Doing that for somebody else to show them, hey, you love no matter what. Yeah. So we realize that after we get so far in our journey, in our freedom, we really begin to start giving back without even realizing, just by showing up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just by showing up.
How did you get that mind shift? What helped you? What action did you take to from that hopelessness to worthiness?
First of all, I had to have somebody help tear down that house. I was so sensitive to everything you say to me.
Everything.
Everything you said to me set me off. But really, I was because of the way I was living and the way I turned out. And what I began to do is I asked the powers to be to remove self-centeredness and ego and pride. And when I began to ask the powers to be to remove self-centeredness, ego, and pride, I began to hear you. And I began to genuinely know you cared. And then when I genuinely know you care, let you in a little bit by a little bit. My dog, I got this stray dog, and he wouldn't come. He would always come around. I just set the bowl of food down there. And after a while, he would creep up and eat it. And he would run back out. And then after a while, I was there, and I just sit there and hold the bowl. And he would finally develop trust. I developed trust in y'all. The process.
Yes.
In doing it, I genuinely knew y'all cared for my outcome and my well-being. Because that's a lot of people told me, and they did not care at all. It was just a nonchalant motion for that particular moment in time. You know what I mean? And as long as I left them, that's what they cared about. Really, no, we care about where you're going and what you're going to do. So it's a lot of experience, strength, and hope that comes from this journey. But the education part is coming down. It's getting to a place in your life where you're ready to listen. And you'll know when you reach that place, you'll keep your mouth shut. You know what I mean? And then, because I'm great at you what you need to do.
Oh, yeah.
but I'm not practicing that myself. Practice what you preach. So therefore, how about just don't say nothing? And guess what? God gave me mouths. He gave me 2 ears, and there's a purpose for it. That's to be a better listener. So I've learned to listen whether I like it or not. And let me tell you this, usually when I don't like it, it's what I need to hear. Boom, y'all, is what I need to hear. And what happens is I get mad and pout and act childish for a few days. But after a while, it becomes a part of me. And I'll come back to you and give you a hug and say, you know what? Really, what you said in the meeting is what I really needed to hear. Call a mess, huh? Call my mess so I can grow.
Yes.
Don't keep my mess. Don't keep telling me those lies, because I've lived a lie for what? So many years. Yeah, help bring me out. Tell me some truths about me. This ain't about no thing whether you like me or not. This is about setting the captives free. We have a responsibility once we're clean and sober. You know what I mean? Yeah. And restore to sanity, y'all. Responsibility.
You're exactly right. And we got to give it away to keep it.
Huh? Yeah. It ain't about what I like, is it? Yeah. How what I like? I ain't gotta like you. But I have a responsibility. Yeah. Right. And I can't keep it. You know, if I don't give it away. Yeah. Yeah.
Good. We got Kim in the house. We
got some folks.
Maria. Everybody saying hi this morning.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love this thing called recovery.
Yeah, I love this thing called freedom.
Oh, yes.
You know, yeah. I just want everybody to realize that you can get to the top of the mountain. You don't have to take the same route that I took, but still you can get to the top of the mountain, and it's impossible. Never think that your freedom meant to be free. You know, so for you to get it up every day and to gravitate to what you used to do, the norm, but you're not putting any work into it. It takes effort, you know what I mean, to do this change in this process. But you know, it's happy, joyous, and free on this side, and it's forever love. And it's just, I see the world so differently now. Yeah. And I don't take people inventory, and I don't judge, and I don't talk about people like I used to. Because really, when I find so much wrong with somebody, there's something really wrong with it. Woo! You know what I mean? So I quit taking inventory. You know what I mean? And I do it just as you done. I just learned to love you for where you at. And then what happens is I got okay you. But really, what it is I saw something in you that I saw in myself.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so we're at a place of
yes.
Continue to walk in my freedom.
Yes.
I read. I stay connected. I have about 3 or 4 different books I read out of. One of them is a daily meditation. The other is AA or NA literature. And I have the Bible. What I read. That works for me. You don't read what I read, but just read something daily to renew your mind. Call a minimum of 4 people daily. Just to say how they're doing. But really, they'll know that you're doing well because you're calling. And when you miss calling them, watch and see if they don't call you and say, hey, I miss me calling you every day. You know, get connected. Whether you work hard or whatever the case may be, help somebody else at a higher level. Don't give somebody something you don't want. Give them something you want. That's when you really begin to build your, you know. I don't never want to give somebody something I don't want. If I don't want it, what makes you want it? Right. Give somebody you want. And then what happens is you overcome and you become greater than that particular thing that you gave them. And you really look more forward into, hey, just give me. You see that smile on their face and that happens and say, you really mean that? You gave me this? Yes. Yes. I want for you more than you want for yourself right now. But it's not going to always be this way. Because eventually you're going to want for yourself just as much as I did. And then you'll know. That's,
trudging the road to happiness.
Yes, man.
You know, it's. I was a 12-stepper too.
Okay.
Hardcore in it. And when I came here, I had to learn that there are all kinds of ways to recover. Wow. Everybody's journey. But see, you're not only helping, people that are in the 12 steps,
Right.
your hope expands
That's
to so many people
That's right.
because they need you.
That's right.
If you want to help somebody get happy, that's what we do. We
Right.
get happy. You know, we get peaceful, we get free.
Right.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Right. And don't limit yourself to one arena.
Mm-mm.
Don't limit yourself to one. Whether I like it or not, I go out, you know, just to get education.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in Italy and I'm from North Carolina, I sit beside you on the bus just to get education about where you're from. So I have an introduction to the next person I meet from Italy to say, hey, you know, I know a little about, and then become a common bond.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll start trusting me a little bit, have a good conversation, and you'll never know what leads from there. You know?
And then you have interest. You have interest. You know, you're in tune. You want to know. You know, our kids want to know. They're always asking, why, what?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Concept. You know, we're meeting people. Hey, I want to know what's going on. And genuinely mean it.
Really curious.
Mm-hmm. You're curious.
Yeah.
Good one. You know?
I'll write that down.
Yeah. There you go. Boom.
See, that's another thing about being free, that laughter.
Yeah.
It comes so naturally, not mean it when
You said it right. And that's so powerful. You mean it naturally. It's genuine, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not falsified to get what I want. Or just to be a part of. Or just in.
Yeah.
Because I naturally feel good today.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
That's right.
You ain't got to be okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Right.
Perfect.
Anybody on?
Oh, we're just getting hellos,
I think
and
people are tuned in.
we got Darlene. Good deal. Glad y'all are out there.
I'm glad y'all joining us today.
Thank you so much for your support.
And Mr. Boyd, I have to say, you know, I enjoyed the conversation. You know, I connect. You talk about you connecting with us. I gain connecting with you. I'm connecting with you.
Thank you.
You know, and so it's just a blessing to be able to give and take and just where we can learn and gain and be fed from any and everybody that's willing to feed.
Right.
That's willing to share from a good place. That's all we do.
Yeah. And that only came from my journey.
Mm-hmm.
I got school in the ninth grade, you know. And I'm today at 61 years of age, because of the renewing of the mind, because of me to organizations such as PRN, they have been encouraging and empowering me, saying, you know what, if you want to get your GED, we're willing to help you do that. And you started that way back at the other location.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I just felt I was so shameful about being 60 years old, getting my GED. It's not impossible, you know. And you know what? Just reach for the whatever you want. I never owned a Lexus. I ain't gonna, and you know, I get braggadocious when I say this. I got a Lexus now. You know what I mean? You know, I'm ready to get keys to my first apartment. You know, but it's through helping or make available to become teachable. I had to really get out the way of it all. But see, I had to put that facade on in the street, because if I in a certain hood, you're finna get dominated, you're finna dealt with. You know? So I had to go facade that I'm the man, you know, I fear, you know, and I know everything. But y'all let my hair down and y'all say, hey, you know what? If that's the case, okay. If that's not the case, we still love you and we still welcome you. You know what? And that's when that whole life chemistry began to say, I ain't gotta be Mr. Big. I ain't gotta drive a Lexus. Because all the things that I had dressed up the outside taught me how to work on the spiritual man. Y'all work from the inside out, microwave oven. Everybody else work like a conventional oven from the outside. So doing that, I began to select and that were healthy for me. And I started being able to have healthy relations, healthy associations, healthy conversations, healthy experiences. If you're talking about that mess, I'm finna go. Because what happens, I allow you to contaminate my spirit. I can't grow like that.
It don't feel good. It feels heavy.
Yeah. That's your mess, really. And you know what I do? I start carrying your mess. And then I want to put it on you and tell you, shit, no more, no longer. I'm free.
That's right.
Miss Shannon, I've been with
Oh yes.
I hope that everybody that's watching today, I gained something through our conversation today, and Mr. Boyd, I just want to continue to encourage you to keep going, keep moving forward, keep being the person because you are helping others, like myself.
That's right.
And I'm holding back, but there's something like Mr. Boyd.
Thank you.
You okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You are.
Thank you. And I want all the viewers to know that if you watch today, or even for a small period of time, that now you are part of my process. So you just helped me to get to where I am right now. And I want to thank you for being a part of this. And I want y'all to know this is a new beginning. This is not the end of this. That we have a responsibility and I have a commitment. And I'm honored to be set free, to go back out and help set somebody else free. That's my reason for being set free. It's not for me anymore. It's for somebody else. That's right.
That tried to kill us can be used to help ourselves.
That's right. They're my strengths today.
Yes.
Strengths on the other side. So.
And everything I learned out there I can use today.
Come on.
The motivation. Now you drop me anywhere, I will find a drink.
Tell me about already know before you.
So if you drop me anywhere else, where will I find my recovery? Seek it. And that's what you did. You sought it.
Yeah.
You put forth the effort. You did which is a choice.
Right.
And that's a beautiful thing to not only to be a part of, but to watch.
Those are the benefits, though.
Yeah.
Benefits.
That's right.
And some people say, I hate time. Please acknowledge the presence of quiet time because greater is trying to give you a message. If you don't have that quiet time, you'll never be able to receive what's something greater, who wants you free from any and everything, who loves you more than you love yourself, can talk to you and say, hey, this is the assignment I have for you today. Yeah.
Our purpose.
Our purpose, huh?
Get into it.
Well, you said something too. Of course, we got 2 ears, but that silence is so loud.
Yeah.
But we got 2 ears, so we can really God. God knew what he was doing when he gave us 2 ears, 2 eyes.
You get what I'm saying?
1 mouth.
One mouth. Shit. You know what I mean? Quit talking so much. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Quick, slow to speak.
Yeah. I used to be fellowship say first 30 days don't say because you don't know nothing about staying clean. Quit messing up other people's lives with your sharing self. I mean, learn how to be quiet. And that became a lot of work. Because I'm a very verbal to be, a very verbal person. I think it's so important that you know how I feel. That what I think you should, but it's just as important for me to know you at and how are you, And then I began to listen and learn, and I didn't have anything because the identity of the struggle became apparent that, you know what I mean? I said, wow, are you my mother? You know what I mean? No, but we've been through the same struggle. So I listened to feel your pain, not to hear you, but your pain. And when I feel that pain, man, to identify emotionally, you know what I mean? And I'm right there where you are.
I may not have had the exact same experience, but I know loneliness.
Right.
I know anger.
Right.
I know fear.
Right.
All those things. So that's that connection that we can have with other people.
Thank you.
That's where we get into the nitty gritty. And that's when things begin to change.
Right.
You said you shifted, you changed your mindset.
Yeah.
And I had to do that too.
Yeah.
Because I was stuck in survival.
Right.
Like you were saying.
Wow.
I didn't want more than that.
Right.
And you too, and that's what's motivating us to get more.
Right.
By being around people who have,
and having a desire
Yes.
to want that more. Not be to say today that I was raped by a family member, but y'all brought me out of that process. And the damage that it did wasn't permanent because my mind is free from that bondage or whatever happened to me at that particular time. Able to do is revert back because of staying connected with you all.
Yes.
And say, you know what? I don't know what your struggle was with that family. I don't know what happened to you. But I hope that you'll be, because PR and support groups are making you all right today. I don't have to run to a account. They have the money for them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I do is I get more pertinent and pure recovery and change from the levels that are, they call levels. You know, from 501c charitable organization. You know what? I get so much from people who don't get paid to do this. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to be exactly where I've been, but somewhere in the midst of your struggle, there's an identity there that we're gonna, get together on, and we're gonna see eye to eye on, and then that's when to get into our freedom. We come out the problem and we get into the solution. Yeah, well.
As did you. You taught us too. That's how this thing works. We're not in isolation anymore. Like you said, we are connected to each other at a deep level where you can really learn.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
What I had to learn was love.
Yeah.
That's what I peddled today. I peddle love. You know? Because I think that's what I need more than anything. Love and acceptance.
And I couldn't give something I didn't have.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I didn't love myself. God taught me that. Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. This recovery stuff. Yes.
That's huge. Well,
yeah,
man, I hope you guys enjoyed this like I have today. And speaking of that love, I want to talk a little bit about our warm line.
Oh, yes.
We have our warm line out there, so it's 24/7, 7 days a week. Anybody, everybody, and Mr. Boyd, you can pass this information along to your colleagues and your peers, and anybody that actually needs that support and need that listening ear, give our warm line a call. That number is 833. I can see it from the back here. I know 833
390
390-7728.
That's right.
833-390-7728. Give a call and just be.
Yes.
Just be, because we'll be there for you.
I like to also add that there's nothing new up under the sun. Don't let shame and guilt and your past experiences or trials and tribulations keep you from being honest with other people and yourself. It's time for you to release and dump that mess and quit carrying that mess for so long and get with somebody to help bring you out of what you've been in for so long. Because what happens is that'll be complacent and it become a way of life for you, and you'll get okay with that when really that's not who you are here to be.
That's right.
So free yourself. Call these numbers. Come see this organization.
There you go.
Get some help.
And it's that last number too. It's our main office.
Yes.
Got
it.
So give our front desk a call Monday through Friday from 8 to 4. That's Miss Kim. That's 704. I can't see that number. 390
7709.
709. I can't see from back here. I don't remember everything. However, give me a call. Okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for joining us. Any last words?
Know that we love you. Know that we love you. You know what?
And we mean it.
And we mean it. Got a lot of love to give. Ain't got no money to give you, but I got a lot of love to give you. I ain't giving you money no way. But I got a lot of love to give you. And remember, I was a lot of love. And until I learned how to love myself, I couldn't transmit something. That means I wasn't able to love anybody else. I realized how many people love me today. And I'm just so blessed to have that. I'm grateful. It's waiting for you just like it happened for me. Others is also waiting to happen for you. So we hope to hear from you.
Good deal. Thank you all so much.
Bye-bye.